Alright, everybody, got a fun one for you today. If you watched our most recent video, Games I Love That Everybody Hates, my boy Ethan dropped a comment. I found his channel, fellow YouTuber here. He does some really cool videos. I watched one of his latest videos, Gaming Trends That He Hates. The worst gaming trends in the industry, and no doubt about it, the more and more digital, I guess, we become, the worse the trends get. I think we can all agree with most of the trends he talks about in that video. So if you guys want to do me a big favor after this video, swing over to Ethan's channel. I'll leave a link in the description. Check out his video and, you know, just help the community grow, right? We're all fellow gamers here. We all love talking about video games, so pop over to his channel and keep the conversation going. Now, personally, I wanted to take this topic and kind of flip it. I wanted to talk about my favorite trends, trends I miss, trends I wish that would come back. So here we go, guys. We're going to be talking about 3 trends in the gaming industry I wish would come back. But before we get into this topic, don't forget to like and comment on the video. Your subscriptions are always appreciated, guys. Last I checked, we're at 480, so we are so close to that 500 subscriber threshold. Thank you to everyone who helps us get there. Now, on to the list. The first trend we're going to be talking about today is the retro revival. Now, you may have heard that term tossed around. You may not. If you strictly play retro games or you strictly play new games, you may not be super familiar with the middle ground of the retro revival, which was essentially making games that were inspired by old franchises. And honestly, this is not the trend I thought would make my list. I am actually not a huge 2D gaming fan. I've talked about it before. I cut my teeth on the N64, so I'm a huge fan of platformers. But I really started with Mario 64, not Super Mario Brothers, right? So I never thought I'd fall head over heels for the retro revival scene the way I did. Now, one of the main inspirations for me with this was Shovel Knight. I was going for a complete Wii U set. I'd heard a lot of hype about this game, but it was a 2D platformer, and honestly, I just don't really care for 2D platformers. But I said, okay, I hear a lot of talk about this game. Let's check it out. So I popped it in, and I did not stop playing it. This game is phenomenal. It really is great. It's like a healthy mix of Super Mario Brothers with Legend of Zelda. Kind of like a Metroidvania, I guess. And again, I don't have a ton of experience with the genre, but dude, I fell in love with it. I thought the game was great. I thought it was super addicting. But really, my main love for the retro revival scene is A Hat in Time. Now, A Hat in Time is a 3D platforming collectathon where you go around collecting timepieces, you explore these ginormous, sprawling levels. It's one of, if not my favorite game of all time. It pulls inspiration from Mario 64, Wind Waker, Banjo Kazooie, so many timeless classics put out by Nintendo and Rare back in the day, and some other games for sure. But these are just the 2 that have really influenced me a lot. There are plenty of other games a part of this retro revival scene. Again, if you are a fan of the retro revival scene, you can probably drop a couple more that people should play down in the comments. Maybe even I'll check them out. But as far as the retro revival scene goes, I don't know if it's still a big thing. I feel like it kind of peaked a few years ago. I don't really hear it talked about as much as I did maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But no doubt, it was definitely a very fun time in gaming. It kind of, I think, helped encourage indie developers. It kind of showed that the scene was big enough for AAA titles and indie developers. And in a lot of cases, people like indie games more now than they did before, thanks to like the Nintendo Switch being a excellent showcase. Steam, obviously, showcasing these games and giving them a platform to kind of advertise and breathe and live a little. So the retro revival was definitely one of my favorite and one of the more positive trends in the gaming community. Next up, I'm going to be talking about couch co-op. Couch co-op is still kind of alive. Don't get me wrong. It Takes Two won Game of the Year a few years back. Haven't got around to playing that one, but it's on my Steam watch list. For sure gonna get it at some point. Kind of around the time it was coming out, my wife and I had our first kid, and we kind of stopped doing like the YouTube Let's Plays as much, which is really a shame, because if that game had come out a few years prior, we probably would have been all over it. However, I think back to like the N64. That console has been immortalized for me in a lot of ways due to the legendary epic adventure games such as Ocarina of Time, DK64, Kirby, Star Fox. I mean, you can go on and on, whether you're talking first parties or third parties. So many great adventure games and platformers on that console. But I also have to give credit to the couch co-op games. I think Goldeneye. I think Mario Kart, Mario Party, Smash Brothers. These games are phenomenal. They definitely have left an impression on me. I still have just the fondest memories playing 4-player Goldeneye with my brother and my 2 cousins. We'd set it to, like the Golden Gun mode, and we'd set it to Temple and Complex, and we'd play like our own version of Keep Away or King of the Hill. One of us would grab the Golden Gun, the other one would protect him, and you'd try to kill the guy with the Golden Gun. Timeless, And then my extended family would gather at my grandmother's to play Mario Kart 64, where pulling off the shortcuts on Koopa Troopa Beach or Wario Stadium made you feel like a rock star. And I've spoken before about coming home on the weekends, my freshman year of college, to play my mom in Mario Party 2. There's a reason I still say Mario Party 2 is my favorite Mario Party game. Like, the nostalgia and the memories attached to it. It just makes these games, like I said, timeless. Couch co-op did survive the next generation. The Gamecube had 4 ports, the PS2 had 2. I never owned a Dreamcast, but I'm pretty sure that had some good multiplayer games on it too. But by the time we hit the 360, couch co-op was kind of dying out, which, for where I was in life, I was actually kind of okay with this. My cousin lived about 4 states north of me, so we only got together like twice a year, and he was the person I primarily gamed with. So thanks to online, Xbox Live, we were able to play Call of Duty and Borderlands online, and that really helped save that generation for me. There was still GTA 4 and 5, there was still Red Dead Redemption and Borderlands, don't get me wrong, but the amount of time that I would sink into online multiplayer was kind of, I think we can all agree, right? The late nights playing Call of Duty, eating Pop-Tarts, drinking Mountain Dew at 3 in the morning, just destroying our bodies, but having the time of our life. However, nowadays, I'm married, and I mostly just game with my wife. That's why I'm kind of glad the Switch is still putting out couch co-op bangers, even though the couch co-op is no longer a huge selling point for the gaming industry. But man, if you lived through the OG Halo days, if you lived through couch co-op of the N64 days, whether you're talking Mario Party, Mario Kart, wrestling, any of the sports titles, if you lived through that, then you know couch co-op was the place to be. I'm sure we all still hear stories of LAN parties with the OG Xbox Halo, right? Couch co-op was, gosh, it was just an awesome part of gaming history, I guess, right? Just one more reminder, guys, as we head into Entry 3, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You guys mean the world to me. Let's round out this list. The last trend for today is gaming mascots. This kind of ties back into the first entry, right? The retro revival. I'm biased here, sure, but I just think gaming was better when there were mascots. This trend was definitely peaking on 2D consoles. I mean, heck, even Cool Spot had a platformer. But again, I'm a fan of 3D games, so Super Mario 64, Spyro the Dragon, DK, Banjo Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. The list could go on and on of just iconic video game mascots, and honestly, we just don't do that anymore. I mean, yeah, Nintendo still has, you know, Super Mario Odyssey, DK and Yoshi are still doing their things, Kirby's still alive and well, but it really does not feel like Xbox and PlayStation are really trying to put out mascots. I mean, they have Astrobot, which is really cool, but I mean, I feel like even Master Chief is starting to lose some of his allure. You know what I mean? Like, gaming mascots just aren't a huge thing anymore. You play like nameless soldiers or what have you in a lot of these new games, and honestly, I just think gaming mascots were peak gaming, and they are some of my favorite memories of playing games, and a big reason I like the 3D collectathon I guess it's like the chicken and the egg. Do I like 3D platformers because of the mascots, or do I like the mascots because they're associated with 3D platformers? I guess at the end of the day, we really will never know. They go hand in hand. They're so ubiquitous with each other. But, you know, that trend lasted, I would say, to about the PS2 era, the Gamecube era. We still had new mascots coming out. I think Insomniac and Naughty Dog were just on par with Nintendo, if not doing it better. I think the PS2, I would take Ratchet and Clank, I would take Jak and Daxter over Super Mario Sunshine. I just think, you know, it was collectathon 3D platforming during the N64 PS1 era. By the time we got to the PS2, it was a little more action platformers, and I think PS2 just did this kind of better. And we had Prince of Persia, I guess, in a way. I don't know. It kind of peaked from the Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube side of things, the PS1, PS2 side of things, and the PS3 and the 360 were never really able to capture that. Again, we had other mascots, like Master Chief came around and was like the face of the Microsoft movement, and he's not really a platformer. So other genres had mascots, but to me, again, mascots are still ubiquitous with platformers, so that's where I tend to gravitate towards. But again, other genres have had their mascots. But yeah, I love that timing in gaming. I still have my PS2 and my N64 hooked up so that I can go play those absolute classics whenever I feel like it. So that's 3 positive trends of the gaming industry I wanted to talk about today. Feel free, I guess, in this video you can comment. I would say in this video, comment the positive ones. If you've got some trends you hate, like DLC and loot crates and all that, go check out Ethan's video. But I appreciate everybody who watches, anyone who gives Ethan's channel a chance. Thank you so much, Ethan, for making your video and inspiring this video. You know, it's like I say, I always try to do video responses, a callback to a different era of YouTube, right? It's got to be retro with everything, I guess. So that's going to do it for this one. Guys, if you have any video topics that you're interested in me creating, any gaming, I guess, specifically, and I have a shred of understanding of the topic, I guess, then I'll try to make a video about it, guys. So let me know down below what videos you guys want to see. Thank you again so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and comment as we march towards 500 subscribers. I know we can get there very soon. You guys have been on fire lately. So thank y'all so much to everyone who watches. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.